The Italian Prime Minister likes to entertain. He once worked as a singer on cruise ships. But in recent weeks, Silvio Berlusconi has started to resent the spotlight focused on his private life. He's now been put in the embarrassing position of having to deny that prostitutes were present at parties held in his official residence. In an interview with an Italian magazine, Mr. Berlusconi insisted he had never paid a woman for sex. Our correspondent Duncan Kedney reports now from Rome.
His is a life lived on an almost epic scale. A grand performance in multiple, multi-layered acts. Part emperor, part court jester, supreme operator. Enter stage right, play to the gallery, but there's always the risk of tripping. Silvio Berlusconi, a Don Giovanni of our time, with his mixture of drama and comedy, and who, like Mozart's iconic figure, ultimately refuses to repent. Why should I, he says in his interview with Key magazine, as he sets out his version of the script. Non ho mai pagato una donna, he declares, I have never paid for a woman. The extraordinary words of a Prime Minister of a leading West European nation. It has come to this. Mr. Berlusconi genuinely believes he has done nothing wrong. He admits liking the company of young people, but categorically denies he knew some women were being paid to attend his parties. This is one of them, Patrizia Daddario, who says she spent the night with Mr. Berlusconi at his home in Rome and that she received money. This is the scene of the melodrama. Suitably, it's a palace, and it's Mr. B's residence in Rome. A number of women have claimed they were paid to come to his parties here. The Prime Minister's friends say he would sing and tell jokes, hold court, but the wallet always stayed closed. It has all Italy enthralled as one chapter cliffhangs into another.
We should all be ashamed as Italians to be represented by such an individual.
Apart
from the fact that there is for sure some manoeuvring against Berlusconi, it's about time people minded their own business. Because what Berlusconi does in his own private time is his own business. The important thing is that he shows to be an honest person in administering the country.
Writers of soap operas would have been ridiculed if they tried to invent the storylines of Mr. Berlusconi's life in the past 2 months. One scandal has morphed into another, all accompanied by what non-Italians call his gaffes, like the nice tan remark about President Obama. Here in Italy, polls show most Italians still like him. Is he damaged by the scandals? Possibly. Weakened? Maybe. Finished? Not yet. Opponents may want the curtain down on the Berlusconi era, but he's not yet ready to take that final bow. Duncan Kennedy, BBC News, in Rome.
Well, to discuss that, I'm joined now in the studio by Enrico Franceschini, the Bureau Chief of La Repubblica. Do you think these scandals are having any effect on Mr. Berlusconi's approval ratings?
Well, they do. First of all, he lost about 5-6% in the European elections compared to what they were expecting, what his party was expecting. And there's been criticism for the first time by the Catholic Church. The main daily newspaper and the main weekly newspaper representing the Vatican has said that the Prime Minister's behavior is unacceptable and undefensible. And in a Catholic country, this will have an effect.
So that's significant, is it, with voters, the fact that the Catholic Church has come out and said that?
Well, absolutely. And the country might be still split on Mr. Berlusconi, and it is still split because you have to understand that he controls 5 out of 6 national TV stations, and those 5 are not reporting the news.
At all? They're not mentioning the scandals?
They're not mentioning what's going on. They give very vague details, and in fact, the president of RAI, which is like the BBC, the public broadcasting, has called in the editor-in-chief of the main TV station asking him why he's not reporting anything. And he answered, this is trash, innuendos, there are no news. And this man has been put in this position by Mr. Berlusconi a few weeks ago.
And are some Italians saying this is censorship? Do they want to hear?
Of course.
Yeah.
My newspaper, other newspapers, politicians are saying that this is a battle for the freedom of the press now, not only for Berlusconi's future. It is unbelievable what's going on. Imagine now the fact that if Berlusconi paid or not paid this woman is not an issue. But imagine if the British Prime Minister was caught, inviting call girls at his private residence. Would you report it, or you say...
Yes, but I always thought that Italians were a little bit more relaxed about this kind of thing than the Anglo-Saxons, who get very obsessed by politicians' private lives. I mean, aren't you supposed to be a little bit more laid back about it?
Well, yes, but now he went over the top. I mean, what happened in the last month? It is his wife asked for divorce, saying this man is sick, he's in trouble, he's seeing minors. We have discovered that he has invited a 17-year-old girl to his villa in Sardinia for a week. These call girls coming to visit him, and he would be open to blackmail because there have been no controls. Now, some of these girls have taken pictures inside his residence. They have recorded his words. It's very easy that how can you govern in such a condition? This is the issue.
So it's not that they mind about him having affairs and so on, it's just that he's crossed that line.
Crossed the line,
yeah.
of course.
Enrico Francescini, thank you very much.